All right, cool. So we've added this, we've created my first section, and now when we've noticed is inside of here, all these have these cool presets, right? But in my first section, I don't have a preset. So I want to add this image here so that folks that are using this can actually see what is actually going to be populated. So I've kind of customized this section to what I would like the preset to look like. So let's say I've gone through here and I've customized it, and this is what I want it to look like. So I'm actually, now what I'm going to do is I'll just screenshot this section, and I'm going to use this this screenshot. Let's get rid of that little change button here. 1 second, there we go. And so now I'm going to screenshot the whole thing and get that. There we go. So I'm going to screenshot here, and I'm being probably a little too careful. I don't need to be this careful with a tutorial video. But so here I have the screenshot right here, right? So this is going to turn into our preset. And so I'm just going to title this my first section preset, and we'll title it because it's a .png, we'll give it the .png. Great. Okay, cool. So now that that's in place the way that we want it to be, what we're going to do now is we actually need to upload this image. So I wouldn't upload it here just because it'll look a little funny. So go down to a different section, and we'll just upload it so it gets into our code base, and then this will navigate around with it. So I'm going to come in here, and here it is, my preset, right? So I'm going to open it, and now this is basically placing it inside of the images folder inside of StackBit. It's also putting it here, and this is just like a throwaway component. So inside of here, we're going to go into the code now. And inside of the code, we're going to find this image inside of public. And let me just clean this up for a second. So inside of public here, we have our images, and then we're going to have my first section preset, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to drag this up into where the presets actually exist, which is here under StackBit presets, right? We're going to drag it into this images folder. So this is a little bit of a hack. There's probably a better way to do this, and someone at StackBit will probably kill me because I'm showing it this way, but this is the quickest way that we can, I have to get the image in there and move it to the right spot. So we're going to drag this up now to the images where the presets, all the preset images actually live. One thing that you should note is if you have one that's really low, like a Z or Y starts with this, just name it like AAA so it starts up here, because it's a lot easier to drag if you can see it in the same place. So I'm just going to drag it here, and this will open, and then I'm just going to put it underneath images, and now boom, it's underneath images, and we have it as my first section preset, right? Which is exactly what we wanted. So now comes the let's basically build out the preset itself. So inside of here we used the hero component, right? We duplicated, this is a duplicate of the hero component, so we're going to duplicate this preset as well. So we're just going to click duplicate, and then inside of the copy, we'll open it up, and I'll rename it to my first section, and make sure we spell it right. I spelled first wrong, so my first section, and boom, so now we have it, and it's up here. And then we'll change this model to my first section. So now we would probably expect this, and so here's some of the little tricks that we're going to go through right now. So what we'll do is we'll label this to have that right preset, right? So it was inside of here, it's called my first section preset. So I'm going to retitle this my first section preset.png, and we'll retitle the label itself to my first section, and I'm going to click save. Now inside of, when we open this up in the code editor, we're going to see it here, but we're going to see some things that we haven't actually cleaned up all the way yet. So inside of here, boom, there it is, right? So awesome, we have our new preset, but what's funny is what are these other ones doing underneath here? Well, these are the other presets that we have actually mapped inside of the preset itself. So here's our first preset, right? So I can highlight this object, and we also have these presets down here. And so I'm going to clean these up and clean this one up like that, and then we'll clean this one up like this. So now we only have one preset, which is what we want, and let's remove that comma, and now let's come back here and we'll see we only have one preset. So go to my first section, and here it is again under my first section. It's showing up correctly. Now here's another catch. We're going to go in here, and I'm going to click on select, but it's not going to look like this, and I'll show you why in a second. So when I click select, it's going to look like the old image that was there, right? And that makes total sense, because if we go back into the code here inside of this preset, it's actually not, it's not using any of the preset values that are showing up for this one. We need to set those up. So the way that we can do that is we know that this is on the home page, right? So let me just get rid of this one. That doesn't look the way that we want. So this is the way we want our preset to actually show up on the page. And so we know this is on the index page. So we're going to come back into the code and we're going to open up the index page itself. And so inside of here, we'll go to content, pages, index, right? And so inside of index, we'll see it. So now what we do is we match each of these. So I know that this one's for a color F. So I'm going to come back into my first section here, and this one's actually color F, right? And this one says this is a Big Hero headline in the title. So I'm going to say this is a Big Hero headline. And now I can keep going through this whole thing, which I'll go ahead and do, but I'll pause the video as I go through. But all I'm doing here is I'm just basically going back and forth and grabbing each section as seeing what it's each section here and making it show up the with this inside of the preset itself. All right, so I'm going to go through this one by one and just set this up so that it looks exactly the same. And once that's set up, which will be kind of a boring task, I'll come back and I'll walk us through exactly how that is come together. All right, cool. So here's what I've did in the code. I'm just matching everything up. So inside of index, we have colors F, title, subtitle, right? So colors F, and then down here was title, subtitle, and then we have badge. So I got this badge section. What I actually did to find this badge section and how it's kind of laid out is, one, you can obviously notice how it's laid out here. These markdown files are, you can see exactly how everything's kind of connected and can match it via the JSON. But an easy way to do it also is I just searched badge here and found it in another preset. So inside of here, page layout, I can see exactly how it's set up in page layout, and I can just bring that in because I know that this is a reference, right? If I come in here and take a look at my first section and open this up, I can see that this badge is just a reference. So I'm going to come back in and I put this one in and just matched it, right? So this is the badge, text align left, and just made sure that that's what we wanted. Text align left, this is the badge. Cool. And then we have our two actions. So we have our button one, right, which is a primary button, and it says get started. So I just matched this to say get started. Same thing here with learn more. And then down here, I made sure that this hero image was the same as in here. So if we see down here is the hero image, right? So hero image. And we can see in here, I wanted it to be images/hero.pg, right? So hero.pg. And then text, I don't know, maybe I skipped that. If I did, here's the text. Same thing goes for all these styles. I basically just went down here and here's all the styles, right? Height, width, margins. I just matched them all, put them all right in here. It took me about 5 minutes to do. And then all the way down to justify content, which was flex start. And the last one down here is justify content flex start, right? So and we can see that's under actions, etc. So now that that's in place, now I have my preset set up in the same way that this component is actually built on the screen. So the preset that I have here inside of my first section, which is this right here, after I've customized it, will look exactly like that. So now I'll click select and we'll add it and we'll see a new one pop up right above, right? So here's the new one and it looks exactly like what we would expect, which is the one down here. So that's how to create your presets.